Hello, everyone. This is criminal profiler Pat Brown, and I've just gotten a deluge of emails in about this show that just came out. Ah, yes, it's Sean Atwood, and now he has this. Let's see, new evidence from an ex-UK cop. That would be that fellow on the right, Gary Waterman. And it's about Julia. You remember Julia, the fake Maddie? Well, this guy, Sean Atwood, and this guy, Gary Waterman, and the fake Maddie, stop listening to these people. It's so frustrating. The Madeleine McCann case, there's a lot of things to perhaps discuss, perhaps even argue over. The most important points at this, if you believe that she was not abducted, there's two major issues. When did something happen to her? What was it, the night that they reported her missing, or was it the night before? Some people think even further back. And then where is her body? This is for people who believe she was not abducted and the McCanns has something to do with it. Okay. There are those who believe the McCanns, they're just innocent parents and the child was abducted, and this show is not for you. But for those people who have had an interest in understanding the evidence, for God's sakes, pay attention to the evidence and not clowns. These two clowns and the Julia clown, they have issues. And I'm not a psychologist, so I can't tell you which personality disorder I think they have, but probably it starts with a P for all three of them, because they don't care about the truth. They are frauds. They are liars. They make up stuff. They don't care. They're grifters. And that's the truth. Stop paying attention to these clowns. So I get these emails and, oh my God, did you hear there's new evidence linking the fake Julia, the Polish fake Julia, to Gerry McCann, DNA. This is not true. It is an absolute lie. But of course, this guy was an ex-cop and he has all this information and it's all over he's sending it all out to Scotland Yard and other places saying, why aren't you doing anything? Probably because you're a nutter and they don't care about you. Now, mind you, do I think there are some shenanigans that have gone on? Do I have any faith in Scotland Yard taking on a case, spending, what is it now, 20 million pounds or whatever they're up to, not accomplishing anything, and starting with a remit that says, don't even look at the McCanns? That's political. And I've since day one, I thought it was a charade. So I'm not saying that there aren't some concerning things happening about how this case ended up being this odd football between Portugal and the UK. But the conspiracy theories that these bozos are running, which of course includes some massive child trafficking ring and of course stealing blood from children so that you can live longer. Oh, that's there too. And this Julia, have some sympathy for her because she knows that she isn't who people think she is. She's really a McCann. And that's why the McCanns don't want to do the DNA testing. The McCanns, well, two reasons on that. One, they know it's not her. It's not Maddie. It's not their daughter. They know this. And you can go back and forth on why they know this. But I will say it's because they know she's not alive. So therefore, she cannot be this woman who is even the wrong age. So this is all nonsense. And then there's these conspiracy theories that come out where something happened with the government and child trafficking and these DNA, they're developing certain things with children. And so the McCanns got into some kind of program where they had a child in certain circumstances and then had the child removed while they were in Portugal. And they all know where she was removed to. Like, apparently Poland for no reason whatsoever. So she could live out her life there for no reason. It's so nonsensical. It's despicable. It really is despicable. Now, there are enough people out there who care about evidence. When Gonzalo Amaro wrote his book, Truth of the Lie, he cared about evidence. And he analyzed the evidence and he put forth his theory. I'm good with that. And after that, I think Tony Bennett came out with his booklet and got nailed by the McCanns for it. But he was reasonable as well, paying attention to the evidence. I put out my book, Profile the Disappearance of Madeleine McCann, which is back on the market, by the way. And it got pulled off of Amazon because the McCanns went after me to get that. They didn't want it out there. Why? Because I paid attention to evidence and I looked at it and analyzed evidence. And all three of us at that point in time pretty much agreed with the basics. All right. None of us thought there was an abduction. None of us thought Maddie was still alive. None of us thought there was some kind of big child trafficking ring, and get into all kinds of sex stuff, and there's child abuse and child sex abuse and swingers, and Maxwell will show up, all this nonsense. And then this huge conspiracy going through all the government to cover everything up. No, it's not that insane. It's concerning what the government has done, but it's not because of what these bozos are saying or some of the other bozos out there. Now, some people have asked me, when am I going to review this book, The Sudden Impulse? This is by Bert Stollander. And I'm going to be doing that this week, I believe. I got a little behind. I appreciate the fact that he is not one of these bozos. He is looking at the evidence and determining he came up with his analysis based on his dissection of the evidence. Now, mind you, I am not going to necessarily agree with everything he comes up with any more than he will agree with everything I come up with. We don't all have to agree. But the one thing I like is that he's not a clown. He's not saying, oh, this big, huge sex trafficking ring and Maddie's alive somewhere and they're she's on some island with a guy, Epstein. Oh, he's dead, isn't he? But, hey, all the Epstein friends, she's on an island now, or all kinds of nonsense. Just stop with the nonsense. Stop listening to clowns, all right? If you believe that the McCanns have nothing to do with what happened to Madeleine McCann, that the McCanns just made a stupid decision to go out, leave drinking and leave their kids alone, and during that time, somebody came and abducted the child. Okay. I don't have a big issue with you. All I'm going to say is there's zero evidence of an abduction, and you need to pay attention to certain people's books. But once you understand or accept the possibility that there was no abduction and something happened to Madeleine McCann in that vacation flat in Praia de Luz, once you accept that, then the child died then. And she's not running around in the form of Julia or any other child on the planet. She's not involved in any sex ring. None of this nonsense is true. It was that if you understand the evidence and accept certain people's profiles, like myself and Gonzalo Amaral and Bert, we all have the similar viewpoint that it was an accidental death that was covered up. Therefore, all that other nonsense is just nonsense. Again, I'm not against conspiracies existing. They do, and there are certain conspiracies that aren't as evil and creepy as they would like them to be, because that gets people to watch and get all excited. But there are things where people get together because it benefits them politically. It's good media. It's good. They make money. I mean, there's all kinds of reasons people will go along with a program that doesn't bring justice. It doesn't bring truth. And it's unethical, but a whole bunch of people benefit in their own little ways for whatever reason. So we want to make Portugal look like morons. They're terrible police there. We have better police in the UK. Or just we want to protect our citizens. Our citizens go overseas. We want other countries to know we protect our citizens. Or it could be we don't want to look bad because, my gosh, these people lost their kid. We don't want to go accusing them. So, hey, media, jump on board. Let's make it sound good now. And that's where we're all going, because that's where the money is. We got documentary after documentary, and we can make money off of this. So there's a lot of people involved for their own purposes, and there are probably groups involved in ways that are just beneficial to that group, but not because there's a child trafficking ring they're trying to cover up. And nobody's extracting blood from children and starting to look younger because of Madeleine McCann. This is just nonsense. Stop believing it. Ignore the clowns, okay? They're grifters. They like to make money off of a whole bunch of nonsense. And if they're not straight up grifters, then they got psychological problems. But this dude, well, if you don't know who Sean Atwood is, his background is not exactly a spectacular citizen. You know, it wasn't a good citizen, shall we say, since he landed in prison for drug dealing in a major way. And this guy, I don't know what the heck his problem is. I don't know if he's just delusional or what, but he's pushing a lot of nonsense and claiming a lot of things that there's no actual proof of. And this Julia girl, she's an attention seeker. She wants attention. She's got a desperate need for attention. And she basically is a Munchausen syndrome type of thing, where she claims that these things have happened to her, so people feel sorry for her and they pity her, and then they want to help her. And it's working. It worked for a really long time. She got a massive amount of media when she shouldn't have, because it was so obvious from the beginning she was a fake. And now she's back again with these two clowns going, "Oh, Julia, we believe you because we believe you're Gerry McCann's daughter." Don't send in the clowns. Send them out. Send out the clowns, please. It's atrocious. So anyway, that just got to me today, getting the emails in, and it bugs me. But I look forward to, we'll do the review of Bernd's book coming up. So look forward to that either this week, hopefully this week, hopefully not till next week, hopefully this week. Things get in the way. Anyway, if you're new to the channel, please do like and subscribe and check my playlist, because I have some things on Madeleine McCann, but I have many, many other cases. I'm a criminal profiler, so I'm interested in all cases and all kinds of evidence. So if you're interested in crime scene analysis and criminal profiling, check the playlist. Anyway, thank you for being here, and stop listening to the clowns. Please stop.